tour is officially over of the regular season. Hit subscribe. It's only going to take you 1.2 seconds. Bing! That's how fast it is. Help Coley, Mick, and Steve Smith Sr. kids have a good Valentine's. How about that, huh? Because Christmas already passed. So the next holiday is Valentine's, to thank Easter. What else? Mother's Day. Huh?
You're skipping over a couple.
Oh, yeah, MLK.
Yeah, I mean, come
right.
on.
Well, but see, MLK ain't a holiday. It's a statement. No,
we get the day off. We get the day off.
I just went military. I was talking about MLK and I went Malcolm X.
I thought you played for the Carolina Panthers, not the other ones.
Hey, listen, people. Yesterday was Black Friday. That means some folks got fired, and I'm sorry for that. But let's also bring it. What's the chuckle?
Black Friday and Black Monday are not the same thing. There are some good deals on Black Friday.
Oh. I was like, did I say Black Friday? Oh, you was like, oh, it's no deal. Well, it depends on which side of the perspective you're on. It is the deal of you no longer have to deal with that individual anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's a deal for the people who are giving them their severance pay, because you got to also remember these guys get fired. Unlike players, they still get a check.
It's pretty good.
Oh, goodness.
Pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to be a fired coach, especially a fired college coach. Jimbo Fisher's stacking up just to sit at home for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but he's sitting at home with a lot of idle time, boy. So let me tell you let me name a few of the things if you get fired, what you do. Because getting fired and retiring typically is the same thing, in my opinion. Because what you get is idle time. What do you do? So here's what you do. You, for a split second, for about the first month, first 20 days, you decide, you ponder up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work out. I'm going to get this thing right since I got extra time. Man, you last about 2 weeks, then you're done. Right? How about let's just jump in right there into the firing of coaches. Let's go with the big overall arching question. Does Bill Belichick go or stay? What do you say not from you personally, because I know how you feel. You're all about helping the team. So whatever helps the team that you're for. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Yeah, okay. But for me, it's like, I want to ask you before we get into it, what does it mean when a coach survives Black Monday? Because it feels like those are when the majority of the firing's happening. I don't remember a lot of guys getting fired in the middle of the playoffs after you've been eliminated for a month.
Correct.
So that makes it seem like the decision's been made.
I think the decision has been made when you have a Arthur Smith situation.
Sure.
Where you get embarrassed at the end of the game. They said, I believe they were going to fire him or maybe keep him. I think they were kind of 75, let him go, 25%. Let's see how the conversation goes. Then after the game, it was like, oh, hell no. God, go.
They put that news out at 12:01. I've never seen one that. Hey. They're like, "What time does Mondays start? We want to be first. We want to be first to Monday. He's out."
Hey, Arthur was like, "You know what? I tried to sleep on
it. Couldn't sleep.
Couldn't sleep. I tried." They talked after the game. Probably he said some stuff that Arthur was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "You know what? Terry? Terry's a general manager. You know what, Terry? Nah, bro, I can't do this. Absolutely unacceptable. Especially the way it ended. And then Arthur getting mad.
How do you feel about that? How that game ended?
I don't give a fandango. First of all, Jameis Winston.
Hilarious.
I don't think it's hilarious though.
Why?
I think it's a summary of Jameis Winston's whole career. Like it wraps it up of what kind of player he has been in the league. Like for somebody to do that, hey, we're gonna just get this guy a touchdown. And I didn't listen to what his explanation is. I just was like, that if you tell me, man, some quarterback, 5 seconds left on the clock, kneel down, they're already up by 20. Is supposed to kneel on the one and goes in and he calls it audibles and goes against the coach. And you say, who do you think it is? Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I would go, if you said it was Jameis Winston, I'll be like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all.
Arthur Smith's biggest problem is Arthur leaves the Titans, gets the job. And he thinks that he's going to turn the Atlanta Falcons into the Tennessee Titans. He goes, hey, average quarterback or below average quarterback like a Marcus Mariota? Look what I've done with him, right? I have taken on Marcus Mariota and I've allowed him to turn that water into wine. Then he takes a young, inexperienced wide receiver like A.J. Brown, talented, inexperienced wide receiver, and he knows what he can be. Hey, we could just give him, 4 or 5 plays a game, he'll be fine. That's what we did with Drake London. The problem is he didn't have Tannehill. He didn't have a guy who, he gets better if you limit his throws. You have been married to Desmond Ridder. You keep squeezing all the juice out that banana. And guess what, people? Bananas don't have no juice, stupid.
No.
That's why I said a banana, okay? And the reason I say banana is because the banana in the tailpipe, because it didn't backfire.
Mm-hmm.
Engine, car, convertible, luxury, whatever it ain't working, didn't move. In his 3 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, 21-30. 7-10, all 3 seasons. 6 consecutive losing seasons for the Atlanta Falcons. Longest drought for Atlanta since 1983 to 1990 in 8 seasons. He's the 9th head coach since the 1970 merger to have 21 plus wins, 0 playoff appearances in his 3 seasons as head coach. 24 wins and 0 playoff appearances. Fewest, the offensive production, fewest since 2021 under Smith. And they just never really got better.
No. I mean, they were, like you said, they were literally 7-10 every single year he was there. And the NFC South, especially this season, was ripe for the taking for the Falcons.
I would say unique. That's the word I'll use, unique.
It's definitely unique, but they could have won this division no problem with
several times this year.
Yeah. So it seemed like I was a little surprised just because I didn't know that the Falcons were going to pull that trigger, but the results weren't going to.
Hold on. No, stop. Have you not been listening to me talk when we were on the podcast?
Have.
Remember I said I had about 15 possibilities, and what was one of those possibilities? I said I believed almost everybody in the NFC South could get fired. Did I not say that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So in the fandango are you going to sit here right now and tell me that it was a surprise? Agent 89 told you, so it ain't no surprise.
No, first of all, I said I was slightly surprised. I didn't say it was a surprise. I said I was slightly surprised because I don't respect the Falcons.
Slightly is surprise to me. That's a slight on me that you're surprised.
I don't respect the Falcons as an organization. So them continuing to do.
Wow. I do respect the Falcons as an organization because we do get Falcons fans who actually watch a podcast.
No, of course.
Which is mind-boggling to me. You hate me. You don't respect anything I have to say, but then yet you're still watching. Confusing. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons are a confusing organization as a whole, so that shouldn't surprise you. But he just came in there. He was like, he never adjusted at all. He was just like, I'm going to do things my way, and it just continued to not work. So yeah, I don't know what he really expected. It was kind of that fake definition of insanity that people love to run with, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting new results. The results were never new.
When I see what James did, I'm like, I'm not surprised, but I also go, Arthur, your lack of good coaching put you in this position. Why is the opponent going to treat you with the real world dignity? Because sports is about disrespecting and making a fool out of your opponent.
Yeah, why does a division rival feel so comfortable doing that to you?
Yeah, because you've allowed it to.
Right.
You have coached up your team or hamstring your team to allow that to happen. And you know how I say that? By investing in two quarterbacks who don't have any ability to make your team better. You were committed to making this square fit through this nothing of an offense and expected that someone was going to be foolish enough to give you a fourth year. Man, that's tragic.
Should the Saints be looking at their situation too? Their own players won't listen to the play call their coaches are calling.
I see Jameis is out of there. That guy Jameis fired. The problem is Jameis. It'll be interesting to see as a backup. I think he's a decent backup. He's a guy that can play one or two games for you.
Definitely.
Outside of the third game, he starts to get too loose. He starts to feel himself. He has forgotten that he got LASIK surgery, right? So he just I don't trust Jameis. With the ball in his hands, Jameis is a liability.
Sure.
I think he's a backup who, he can get you through some games, but he can't be your starter for the whole season.
No, and I'd be shocked if anyone went to the offseason thinking that was an option.
This is how you know Jameis Winston is not coming back. Dennis Allen was like, that ain't the play I called.
No.
That is not the play I called. I did not call that play, coach. And Arthur is hot as fish grease. But Arthur ain't really about that action, though. Because think about it. If you was really hot, man, you just flinched at him. But all he did is just he didn't even give him the hardball, firm handshake.
Sure.
He was just like, hey, that's BS, man. That's bullcrap. The Atlanta Falcons, what do they do at quarterback? Man, they got their quarterbacks are gone.
You would think.
Well, I know. I love this time right now, these first week, because no one really says how they truly feel. Think about this. Joe Douglas. No Joe Douglas. He may text me after this if he hears it. Joe Douglas, we're going to, as far as Zach Wilson, we're going to do whatever is best for the team. You know what's best for the team? Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more. Bro, that's what you get. Let him go.
Yeah.
Stop playing the political game. I just want a coach to just come up there one time and just keep it 100. Slouch in your chair in the interview, right? Slouch in the chair and be like, yeah, dog, he just ain't going to be back. We can't, You know how Mike Singletary did? Hey, can't win with him. I can't. Just say it, bro. No, he's not coming back. We traded for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, and we were not prepared for that.
No, which is also insane.
And we allowed you, we tried to get you in there, and when we realized that you just aren't good enough, we picked up Aaron Rodgers' backup, who has never played in the game named, what was his name?
Tim Boyle.
Or Tyler Boyle?
Tim Boyle.
Well, He started off as Tim. Who they cut was Tyler. It don't matter, right?
You out. Yes. Yeah.
Hit the road. Hit the road. So it's terrible, bro, to watch. But here's one that's sneaky, and I think people aren't talking about. Does Matt Eberflus, does he stay? Because, bro, you can say this year how it unfolded. You can say it was unforeseen, right? And I would say it's true because it is very unforeseen when the feds come to your house as one of your assistants. Now, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard, right? Because I'm not throwing
the
something
season
out
started,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Eberflus, 53 years old, he's been coaching for 32 years. He is 10-24 as the head coach for the Chicago Bears. What's even crazier is he was marked as this excellent defensive coordinator with the Colts. I'm surprised. I don't think they were really that good, though, when he was the Colts. Like, they had a top 10 defense, but they were still giving up 340 yards a game. As the head coach, they're giving up 350. Points allowed, 22 when he was defense coordinator with the Colts. They're averaging 24.8 as the head coach for the Bears. The problem is the offensive understanding that Matt Eberflus does not have is affecting and becoming so apparent because now it's Justin Fields can't play. Justin Fields is not very good, and let's draft another quarterback. And we saw last night with these two quarterbacks, despite what you think, no quarterback plays well under duress and under pressure.
Sure.
They just don't. And I don't know what the formula for the Chicago Bears should be, but I don't think Matt Eberflus has that. I don't think he has the answer.
No, and one of the first things DJ Moore said right when the season ended was you look at certain games and our offense was explosive, and then the next week we would come back and we'd be running the ball, trying to grind it out, trying to play possession. So that kind of inconsistency week to week, I understand you want to game prep differently for different teams, but that didn't seem to be what the Bears were doing. It seemed like they didn't really understand what their offensive identity should be, and that cost them. This is a team that, would they win 6-7 games? They were knocking on a playoff spot.
Yeah.
If a couple of those games had gone differently, they weren't getting blown out in all their losses. These were one possession games that were coming down to the wire, that if they had been more aggressive and had an identity that they were all on the same page with, we're talking about a playoff team right now.
Yeah. But is Matt Eberflus the guy you want with one of the top 5 picks, top 10 picks? Is that one of the guys that you feel comfortable based off what you saw that he will make good decisions in helping turn this franchise, this historical, fan frenzy, thirsty, hungry fan base that wants winners? I don't know if he can, man. He looks puzzled on the sideline.
Well, it's one of those things. You can't give him another year with Fields. I don't think that if you're going to keep Fields, you can't keep him around. But you're just going to give him a rookie quarterback too? Like that gives a guy 2-3 years. You're either keeping him with Fields, which we've seen doesn't work, or you're bringing in a rookie quarterback, and we've just seen him deal with a rookie quarterback, and it didn't go well. So that's where it's like I don't see the path for him sticking in Chicago. Neither option really makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't see it, and I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and jump to Bill Belichick, though, bro.
Alrighty.
Before we start talking about Bill Belichick, let me tell you, this was remarkable, bro. It was crazy. So Bill Belichick is 71 years old, 24 seasons as a head coach. He's 266 and 121. 266 wins. That's pretty impressive. He's been coaching 29 years as an NFL head coach. You know, he was a coach with Cleveland. But his whole career overall, 302 wins, 165 losses. 49 years of NFL coaching experience since 1975. 6 Super Bowl wins as a head coach, but he's also won 2 more as a defensive coordinator. 3-time AP NFL Coach of the Year, 2013 when he beat the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 38, justifiably so. 2007, and then 2010. Coaching history. I'm going to start from the bottom before we talk about how he got to the top. Baltimore Colts special teams coach, 1975. Then he decided to be the assistant special teams coach for the Detroit Lions, 1976. 1977, Detroit Lions wide receivers coach. Wow, that explains a lot. 1978, Denver Broncos defensive assistant and assistant special teams coach, defensive assistant and special teams coach, linebacker coach, and defense coordinator. That's when he started in 1979, the year I was born, 79, all the way till 90 with the New York Giants, obviously winning a Super Bowl, and then became the head coach for the Cleveland Browns for 4 years, became the assistant head coach and DB coach 1996, a year before I graduated high school, with the New England Patriots. Then for a short stint with assistant head coach and defense coordinator 97, 99 with the Jets Jets, and then became the head coach for the New England Patriots 2000 to 2023, because we don't know if he will be the coach for the New England Patriots in 2024. Coley,
I think it's important too. I don't remember when Scott Pioli went to Kansas City. I know it was like probably around 2010, maybe.
Yeah, that's when Charlie. That's probably why they got
Matt Castle.
Yeah, Matt Castle.
Yeah. So for the last 14 years too, he's also been head GM. So he's been doing all that as well. Wears a lot of hats. I think he's about 30 wins off of Don Shula's record for most all time. I hope he gets them on the Patriots sideline. He had his last press conference yesterday. First thing he said, I'm still under contract. He wanted to let everyone know, because no one's ever known. Every other player, every other coach in the world, we know their contract. Bill Belichick, no clue. There's been a couple of times this season where he has alluded to being willing to give up control within the front office.
Yeah.
And I saw enough, you talk about defensive-minded head coach, I saw enough from the defense this year that tells me he's still a good coach at what he does. Obviously, we've had 3 offensive coordinators last 3 seasons. That hasn't been helpful. The defense has showed up all year, every year, since Brady left. The defense has continued to show up. That's where it's like, I don't see the rush to get rid of this guy, especially if he's willing to relinquish some power within the front office. That to me says like, yeah, I'm still trying to coach. You're not going to get a better coach than me. And when I keep seeing all these reports from the Falcons, from the Commanders, from the Raiders, from the Bears being like, yeah, we will gladly sign Bill Belichick if he gets fired. Obviously, he's still in high demand. And when I watch other coaches make boneheaded decision after boneheaded decision, why would I fire this guy to hire someone I know is going to be worse? That's where it doesn't make any sense to me. And why fire him at all if you know other teams out there want him? Because Sean Payton just got traded for a 1 and a 2 last year. Sean Payton's half the coach of Bill Belichick. I don't even say that disrespectfully. That's just how high up Bill Belichick is when it comes to talking coaches all time. That's where it's like, it feels like organizational malpractice to fire this guy.
No, it doesn't, bro. Because at the same time, at some point, you already know once he's only going to coach 2 or 3 more years. Not necessarily because he can't. Bro, he's in his 70s, right?
Yeah.
And you can say whatever you want. I'm not age sexist, but the demands of coaching in your 70s. Hell, coach doing TV in your 40s. Some days you wake up and you just go, you know what? I just don't want to. I don't want to work. I don't know if I want to work today. And I'm making fun of it, but I'm just saying. Let's say he coaches for the next 4 years. Well, you telling me he's going to be close? He's going to be set because I don't know when he turns 72 or if he just turned 71. So I'm imagine if he coaches for the next four years, he'll be either 75.
Well, 4 years from now, no doubt he'll be 75.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he'll be either 75 or turning 76.
Sure, yeah, his birthday's in April.
Okay, 76 years old, bro, to be managing a football team. Managing a football team is like when you see some of like these guys who come in as president and do 2 terms, they come out and they're like, man, they are weathered. Like it does something to you. It's not for the faint of heart.
Sure.
It's a grind.
Yeah, it's one he seems to, like you said, he's been doing this since he was 21. It is his life.
Yes.
I don't know anyone better built to keep going. Like if he just got thrown into this job at this age, yeah, I'm sure he would.
That's my thing, though. Is he built for this? Because they didn't look very good this year, bro. No,
offensively, yeah.
It is the offense didn't look very good. But who hired Bill O'Brien?
That's where I don't know that Bill O'Brien was the problem. I think Mac Jones was squarely the problem.
Who drafted Mac Jones?
I don't know.
Oh, now you don't, boy.
No, I don't know. Hold on, because you worked in the media this whole time.
Hold on, Tom.
Oh, you start doing that, and then when I come back, it's like, no, you got to calm down.
I don't have a problem with you coming back. I got a problem with how high you raise your voice. That's all I'm saying is lower your voice.
Was there not a storyline?
That's all I'm saying. Though.
Was there not a storyline that Kraft told Belichick he had to trade Jimmy Garoppolo 7 years ago? Was that not a massive storyline within the NFL?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so why is it so far-fetched to believe that happened again when all the reports around that time were that the Patriots wanted to draft Elijah Vera Tucker? You don't think it's crazy that Robert Kraft was like, we're going to take a quarterback, I don't care who it is?
No, I don't think it's crazy because...
That's why I said I don't know. I'm not trying to...
Here's why I don't think it's crazy. Robert Kraft said we need to draft a quarterback. He owns the team.
For sure.
What is wrong with him saying sometimes...
I didn't say there was anything wrong. You asked me who drafted him.
Yeah. I think the person who drafted him is the same person who gets credit when it goes good, is the same person who... I think Bill Belichick drafted Mac Jones the same way Bill Belichick, I think, let me raise my voice, when he drafted Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's who drafted him. And if you can't be the guy who does everything over the 29 seasons as the head coach, all of a sudden get MIA because a few of the picks that you've picked haven't been great. Because this is a performance-based business and it's year to year. Now, he's got 302 wins. But the last 15 or 16, let's say the last 17 losses, it hasn't been great losses. It's been almost like, holy smokes, what is going on?
For half the team, yeah.
Yes.
Like we're talking about the Bears. The Bears are bad on offense and defense. Agreed?
Agreed. Yeah.
Right. The Patriots are still one of the better defenses in football and cannot move the ball even by accident on offense.
Correct.
That's where I see a difference. If he's still elite at the thing he's always been elite at, that's where I don't see this huge panic, huge desire to move on from him.
Here's the panic I have, and I have no dog in the fight. The panic I have is the decision making in how we got here. You guys got here because bad decision making where Matt Patricia became the offensive-minded coach with Joe Judd as an offensive-minded coach. Bro, If me and you had a heart attack and we needed someone to drive us, him having Matt Patricia and Joe Judd be the offensive coordinators, it's like, what's your daughter's name?
Which one?
Anyone. And Deuce driving me and you while we in a heart attack to the ER in a dually truck, not even a truck, not even a car, a truck that we know they can't see, they can't even get in the car because it's on those big old tires. Like, it's impossible. It is impossible. First of all, he did a great job. He did a great job of saying, look, I'll give up responsibilities because he knows the narrative. That's what everybody's saying. By doing that, now he's put the ball in Robert Kraft's, Mr. Kraft's court, because he said, nope, I'm saying I'll give it up. I'm making changes. He's like, he woke up and said, hey, I'm going to work out and I'm going to stop eating donuts. Now you can't say I'm lazy. You can't say I love the idea, but realistically, is he really going to allow someone to come in and run the show on how and what, and he actually listen? Because when you're 71 years old, I'm 44. There's some things that I still, like, I have to really ponder and think about, like, when somebody tells me something, especially if it's somebody that you feel, like, what is that? I don't know him. Like, I don't think you're 71 years old, you got 302 wins, only 165 lost. It's taking him 29 years to get to 302 wins. You think I'm going to listen to this dude who doesn't even have a track record yet?
Well, I don't think they're going to hire someone who's never done it before. That's like that. I think then, that would cause some problems. I think he'd probably be part of that. I would hope. Like, he's worked with other GMs before here.
Has. Yes, he has.
That's where I think he would be. And I think, to what you said earlier, his age, I think he's doing some reflecting, being like, all right, I know I can still do this part of the job. It is becoming too much to do all of the job.
Yes.
And most other teams, guys fail consistently at this. The fact that he was so good at it for so long, to be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, I can't do it anymore, that tells me, I think that's the type of humility. If he was just like, nah, I'm not giving up anything, then I'd be like, all right, we need to talk here. This is untenable. But right now, if he's truly willing to be like, I'll work with somebody, because I think if you asked him, hey, do you know how to evaluate modern wide receivers? No, he does not. He does not. So that's where he needs help.
I'm just not sure, one, if he's going to be there for the next 2 or 3 years, you're just you're delaying ripping off the Band-Aid to start all over.
And I'm okay with that. As a fan, I'm okay. I've said this consistently throughout the year. He's done so much. I am in no hurry to see him go. None.
Let's jump into it. Playoff games, right? So the Saturday slate. Number 5, Browns at the Texans, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Number 6, Dolphins at number 3, Chiefs at 8 p.m. Which one are you picking, Coley, that you're excited to see, and why?
Well, people won't be able to watch Dolphins Chiefs. They slid that in there at the last second, like, hey, sign up for Peacock if you want to watch this. And everyone's like, what? What are you talking about? What? Who am I watching this on? Yeah, that was dirty by the NFL.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Browns Texans, I feel like should be talked about a lot more than it has been talked about.
Oh, yes.
There's a giant cloud hanging over this game, and that cloud's name is Deshaun Watson. The fact that Browns-Texans is a playoff game, Deshaun Watson's nowhere to be seen. Both of these teams are actually happy with where they're at, and none of them, well, one of them's still paying them a lot of money, and the other one's still getting a draft pick from it. There's a lot of rights, like bragging rights, for these fan bases and these teams right now. CJ Stroud here, year one. Will Anderson here, year one. D'Amico Ryans here, year one. And Joe Flacco's here. Joe Flacco could win this game and be playing the Ravens next week. That would be funny as well.
I know. People are going to get mad and, jump to conclusions, but I have to say, is this the game that CJ Stroud actually looks like a rookie?
It's a hell of a defense.
That's why. I don't remember which game it was. The game that Tank Dell when the Tank Dell got hurt.
Yeah.
And CJ got concussed. That game, who was it? I can't remember.
I can't either. That was like week 11, maybe week 12.
Yes, but that was the game. They did such a good job of making CJ seem like a rookie. He just seemed to be under pressure a lot, out of sorts. He wasn't as calm and collective. He was running around a little bit. Normally, he's calm.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't believe that he will be calm in this game, before all y'all start saying, oh, Steve's a hater because he likes Bryce Young, because that dude named Myles Garrett. Now, how about that? That's why.
Yeah. Zadarius Smith. All of them.
Zadarius Smith. Like, some of those guys that can injure you, right? Who can make you feel the next day like you just got mollywopped. And that's what I'm saying, that he's going to have a moment in this game where you go, well, one, Houston Texans have done a great job. He's going to have a moment in this game because of how good the Cleveland Browns are. Their defense is crazy good. Mm-hmm. Denzel Ward, all these guys are playing so freaking good on defense. Without Tank Dell, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is balling. He's stepping up. Noah Brown is stepping up in his role. He hasn't stepped up as much.
Sure.
A Browns defense makes you start overlooking. You start looking for big plays, and you start looking for, scare money makes no money. So you start making those uncalculated risks that gets you in trouble. That can really change the tide and make things get out of hand very quickly, because the Cleveland Browns defense just is unstoppable.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns defense has been unbelievable all season. There were points of the season where they looked historically dominant, not even just dominant unto this season.
Yep.
But since Flacco's taken over, him and Amari Cooper have had such a connection that I'm actually looking at, can Stingley swing this game? Because as good as Flacco is, he will give it up. He will throw interceptions. That's part of his gig. Stingley had a stretch where he had like 5 picks in 4 games during the second half. If he can eliminate Amari Cooper, if they just put him on an island and say, go win this one, that's where it's like I could see Houston's defense, even though it's not as highly touted.
Whoa. You think Stingley on the island gets Amari Cooper?
I would like to see it. To give me that LSU Alabama.
Man, I think Stingley is becoming a really good corner. I am not gonna sit here and let you talk about Cooper like that. To think that Stingley can sit on an island for 60 plays and shut down Cooper. I'm gonna tell you right now, Stingley gonna get ran around in circles, bro. I don't see that happen.
Listen, half of it's on the quarterback too. Cooper can beat him. If Flacco throws one of those, let me underthrow a guy so I can get a pass interference call.
That's any quarterback, though. That's any quarterback.
No doubt, but Flacco specifically loves doing that. So if Stingley can get a pick, if he can get his hands on the ball, that can shift this game. Like, I don't see either of these teams blowing out the other. I think it's going to be close. So I think a turnover like that could swing the game.
Okay. So who are you going with?
I'm rolling with Houston.
Ooh, I'm going with the Browns now. This game is interesting, the 8 o'clock game, Dolphins and Chiefs, if you can find it on Peacock. Plug the Peacock. The Miami Dolphins worry me not. Well, first of all, Tua hasn't even played. I've forgotten Tua has never played in a playoff game.
Yeah.
So that was really surprising to me because he was hurt.
Yeah, it was Skyler last year.
Yeah. But what worries me, so I was looking at the injury report. I saved it because it came across my email, and I was like, and so I looked at it and I was like, bro, this is crazy. Bro, they got close to 21 or 22 guys on the injury report. That's what worries me. And some of the injuries, knee, thigh, hamstring, knee, ankle. One dude got a knee, ankle, and back. You're going to Kansas City where it's about to be chilly. And I ain't talking about in the bowl and some soup. If you limited in practice in Miami, how you think your body gonna feel in -5? Be Captain Hero if you want to and not wear no sleeves. Walk out there with your chest poking out if you want to, but me, I'm getting all the equipment. I need the muffs. I need the long johns. I need the skin pants. I need the mask. I need a ski mask and a robber's mask. And then a helmet.
After the Patriots game on Sunday, Zeke was like, man, growing up, I always wanted to play in the snow. And then I did it, and it sucked. Like,
it's cold, man. It is freezing.
And listen, you want to talk about the Dolphins injury report. Full health. They're not beating teams above 500. No. They just haven't. It's just not a thing they've done. This year, they won 11 games. You know how many of those came against teams above 500?
What?
1. And it was the Cowboys in December at home on the last second field goal. This team just does not show up against competent teams. It's just not what they do. I don't like the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't looked great the second half, really all season. I don't see how they lose this game.
The Dolphins are a team that has so much promise, but I think they're just running out of juice. And I don't think it's because they can't play. I think they're just physically worn out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see them winning, and I can see them losing. And the reason I say that is because if it's -5 or it's 105, outside of Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, the other wide receivers with the Kansas City Chiefs are having a really difficult time. You know that foot? It's a brown thing. It got some stripes on it. It got laces. It says Goodell and it says the Duke. And the Duke just keep beating them up. When like every time Duke come at them, it is like, oh man, right? It's tough. I mean, Duke is whooping they tail. Every time Duke come to him, if it's not Rashee Rice or Travis Kelce, it's T's and P's, man. Thoughts and prayers if they're going to catch it. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a huge season by any stretch, but these past couple of Chiefs runs, a player who's been very important is Jerick McKinnon, and he's hurt. So that's another guy who I thought they were kind of saving for the playoffs. That doesn't look like he's going to be an option immediately. So Pacheco, I could see Pacheco having a big day. I could see the Chiefs defense having a big day.
Man, Pacheco runs the football so hard, bro. Pause. I mean, Pacheco, he just get. This is gonna sound funny. Pacheco got that Philip Lindsay, bro. You know, Pacheco gets up. Y'all saw what I did, right? I mean,
he's got that Larry Johnson. Like he's like, I'm going to run into contact. I'm not avoiding contact. I am seeking out contact.
What? Contact? I'll be right there.
Yeah. If he had a breakaway, he would wait at the 1 for someone to come tackle him into the end zone.
And then he'd be like this. Come on.
Yeah. They're like, how much pre-workout? He's like, what's that? I've never heard of it. This is just how I am. This is how I wake up. Yeah.
So who do you have? Chiefs or Dolphins?
Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs too, man.
I'm not picking against the Chiefs at home in the playoffs unless Brady's suiting up on the other sideline.
Well, he's not. So, all right. 14th, Sunday. You got number 7, 1 o'clock game, Steelers at Buffalo. There's so many ifs on how this can go. Nobody knows, right?
I know.
Which Jared Allen don't show up? Yeah, Jared.
He's not
that's he's the DN from Minnesota.
Number 69. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen, 56 touchdowns. Has had 14 more total touchdowns in December and January since 2020 than any other quarterback. The Bills are allowing 287 total yards per game in December, January. Best in the NFL by over 20 yards per game. 275 total yards allowed in week 18 against Miami. Basically, what I'm saying is the Buffalo Bills, they're a pretty dangerous team right now. They're also a danger to themselves because what Josh Allen can do sometimes, but the saving grace is if TJ Watt is not 100% and he's not playing, that is a defense. That's a team that's totally different. I am super pumped to see this matchup with Joey Porter Jr. against Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It's going to get spicy, dog.
Quickly,
Diggs
too.
Diggs going to say something. Diggs isn't going to say anything. He's just going to have a look. And Joey Jr. is like, he's from Cali, dog. And we just built differently. You could say we special. I'm not saying it in a good way that we built different. I'm just saying this. We just built different. We take the look, a wrong look, and we take that as total disrespect. We take that as, we fighting? Then bet. Let's do it. For sure.
So since the bye, week 13 for the Bills, they beat the Chiefs by 3 at Kansas City. It's a good win. They beat the Cowboys by 21. Good win. They beat the Chargers by 2. The Patriots by 6 and the Dolphins by 7. They tried to give away these last 3 games. I have no idea.
Yes, they have.
I have no idea what to expect. They're the 2 seed. You know what I mean? I don't remember having this many question marks about a 2 seed in some time.
It's interesting, man. And I love what Mason Rudolph is actually doing. A guy who said, I'll never be back here. Right? Shout out because he's here from Charlotte, played up here in Charlotte. Played at Oklahoma State. Some folks didn't like what I said about when he was coming out and draft Oklahoma State because I thought he was inconsistent. Go figure. Right? I'm just worried if the Steelers have to go in a shootout, can they really depend on Mason Rudolph? And I don't know. But I do think this, though. I do think that they look extremely better with Mason Rudolph as a starting quarterback than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, they've looked more competent as of late. But I do think you hit the nail on the head with the TJ Watt thing. If he's not 100%, if he can't play. Now, I know JJ's out there saying he'll be fine, and the Watt brothers, you talk about people from Cali being built differently. The Watt brothers they've got something else going on. So him playing and being out there. Playing, no doubt.
I'm just, you said it. I agree.
Yeah.
They
no,
do.
1,000%.
What are you trying to say, Steve? I don't know. I'm just saying it's different.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, they both had multiple 19-sack seasons. It's only been done by like Mark Gastineau and DeMarcus Ware. Those are the only 4 people. 2 of them grew up eating the same box of cereal together. Like it's insane.
But that's the problem. They ate the box of cereal and the whole cereal box inside of the box. No milk. No milk. They did not eat the plastic because that's not recyclable. But they did eat the box, right?
If he's not out there, I have to go with the Bills, but I don't feel confident in picking this game at all.
I don't either. I don't know who's gonna win because I don't know which team is gonna show up for either team.
Right. Yeah, I could see the Bills winning this game by 30. I could see them losing this game by 6.
Squeaking it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, the 4:30 game, that's an interesting game. Number 7 Packers against the Cowboys. And I am really scared for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The saving grace is they're going to get pumped up. But Stephon Gilmore went out with the shoulder. Don't know how his shoulder is feeling completely. I know him pretty well. If he can go, he's going to go. If he can't go, he's going to go. Mm-hmm. Matt LaFleur has done something pretty remarkable. He's gotten a young quarterback, and he said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to keep my veteran. I'm going to put a whole bunch of young guys around so we can all grow together. We could do good things together. We could do bad things together. But it's all data and information. And so when we need to turn it on, we can turn it on. Jalen Reed is balling. I hope Romeo Dobbs, I saw that injury. I hope he gets back. Christian Watson, whenever he can get back, but his hamstring. So even if he does play, I'm not sure if he's going to last a whole game.
Sure.
But Matt LaFleur has done such a good job of getting this young team firing on all cylinders offensively. Now, there's always something going on defensively. You don't know which defense is going to show up. But the offense gives you a chance, and this defense is very spicy, so they could give you a chance as well. The question is going to be, can the Dallas Cowboys establish a running game to hold the football? Because if
Probably
they
not,
I think that Dak is doing a great job, but I also think Dak doesn't want to always, and CeeDee Lamb, who's balling. Defenses are getting creative where they're saying, hey, we know where you're going to go, so we want to make sure other guys can beat us. And that guy that I'm telling you people are going to say they got to beat us is Tony Pollard got to have an explosive run, man. Number of explosive runs. Tony Pollard has to have 125 yards for the Cowboys to win this football game.
Total or on the ground?
Bro, total. I don't care how. And the reason I say 125, explosive. That means it's 20 plus, 10 plus, where you can get some chunk yards.
Yeah, move the chains.
Move the chains and put that defense in a position where they have to show their cards, that you start to play checkers, not chess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is the one game that scares me.
And you talk about
one of the two games that scares me.
And you talk about CD, who I think scored 9 straight games and has had just a crazy season, really emerging as one of the elite receivers in the league right now.
Yes, he is.
Jair Alexander's had a very up and down year. He has the ability. Like I was saying, I was trying to project with Stingley earlier. I'm trying to call a shot. Jair has gone out and shown, I can erase your top option. And if that does happen, I'm not saying it will, I'm saying it can. If that does happen, where do the Cowboys look outside of CD?
Well, Brandon Cooks is starting to slow down a little bit. So, they're adding him more on third. He's playing more on third down. He was primarily just playing first and second down just because, and I've spoken to him, so it's not a big deal of me mentioning this. Me and B. Cooks have a great relationship. We worked out together. When I was still playing, he came down to Charlotte, and we got about 3 or 4 days. We did 2 days. And so we worked on some technical stuff. And one of the things I told him is he got to slow down.
Yeah.
He has to slow down. And what I mean by slow down is everybody is fast, just like a corner that can press. Anybody can press. But what makes you attractive, what makes you desirable is, can you cover? And the thing with Cooks is I told him he needs to slow down. He has to sometimes run his routes with pace. Because he runs too fast, sometimes he can run past the window, the opening. And he's slowing down a little bit, which makes him a more dangerous receiver because he can get in and out of his breaks, not just with speed, with excellent technique. Yeah. He can start to manipulate the corner's leverage. When you can do that and you add it with speed, that's why guys get drafted so high, is because you can't teach speed, but you can coach technique. Now you add coaching and technique and you add speed and intelligence together, that's called Justin Jefferson. That's called CeeDee Lamb. That's called, right? That's called Tyreek Hill. So forth and so on, where you can't just go by that. But when you have it and it's available, that's why you got to think about it, he's had 1,000-yard seasons on all these other different teams that he's been on.
Yeah.
But if he slows down, which he's doing, that makes him unstoppable. And you put him with CeeDee Lamb And that's how they have become solidified the number 2 spot and winning the NFC that nobody saw coming. No one has seen. And here's the crazy part. Look, here's this stat. And I'm reading my stats that I've been doing. The NFC hasn't had a repeat division winner in 19 seasons, bro.
It's crazy.
In 19 seasons, they have not had a repeat. And the Eagles, the last team did it was like 2001 to 2004 was the Philadelphia Eagles by Andy Reid.
Yeah.
But other than that, every year somebody new.
No, and what's crazy is it's always every year it's like, well, I'm coming into this year, it's the Eagles just in the Super Bowl. Of course, this is the year someone's going to repeat, and then it just doesn't happen. No matter what, something happens. It's a very funny division.
Yeah. Michael Parsons, career high, 14 sacks. 5th player since 1982 to have 40-plus sacks in his first 3 seasons. Let me tell you the names on this list. Reggie White, the minister of defense.
Heard of him.
Derek Thomas.
Heard of him.
Alton Smith.
Monster.
Dwight Freeney, the spin master himself. He's in that category. Here's the problem that I can see with the Cowboys, though. That defense sometimes gets a little sketchy.
For sure.
For
sure.
You said it like you said that like you knew I was gonna say it, and I said he was like, man, finally. I've been listening for an hour and 32 minutes. You finally said something that's worth anything, Steve. That's how you said that. Thank you very much, because the way you said it, I appreciate it, bro.
Well, it's like even Bland, who set the record for pick sixes, like he's had halves where he's been getting torched, and then the second half left that pick
toasted
six.
like toast, baby.
So that's where it's like, yeah, they're very feast or famine. Even Diggs, who's been hurt all year and obviously isn't playing in this game, but he kind of embodies, encapsulates like how this defense is. He's either going to get the big pick or he's going to give it up and give up 6. Like that's just the Cowboy. And it's, I don't know, where my fan brain is at. I want to pick the Packers, but I know they're going to be such a popular pick that makes me want to pick the Cowboys. When too many people are on something, it just doesn't happen. Just doesn't.
Too many people on what? What are you talking about?
I'm saying too many people are on the Packers. Too many people are going to be on this upset.
You were like, well, too many people on something. I was like,
no, not like Molly. Like when too many people.
I was just trying to figure. I was like, what? Where do we go?
You got to fade yourself when you're on the public sometimes. So I'm taking the Cowboys, but I very much anticipate the Packers winning this game.
Wow. Really?
It's also like I'm a big narrative guy, and I think we're going to get to it with the next game too. Mike McCarthy losing to the Packers in the playoffs just makes sense in my brain. Like that's a thing that makes sense that's going to happen.
Okay. Number 6 then, the Rams at the Lions.
Poor Lions fans.
Hold on. 30 years. 30 years. Congrats. Hosting the game.
They waited 30 years.
The game since 1991.
They waited 30 years, and now they have to play against their best quarterback over those 30 years, and Matt Stafford. It's so cruel. It's so cruel.
It's so cruel. So you're obviously, everybody keeps talking about Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is part of the problem. You know who is the troublemaker of it all? Sean McVay. How Sean McVay is going to attack. Yeah. Someone said, dang, Steve, why you coming at the Detroit Lions secondary like we ain't very good? Because you're not very good.
Because you ain't.
I'm sorry. You ain't. And I'm going to tell you right now, Puka Nacua is going to have a day. My spirit animal, Cooper Kupp, is going to route some guys up. And they need to get Stephon Gilmore's little brother. They need to dress him and get him in the game. Because he is the player. Because everybody else is struggling. Mm-hmm. And Sean McVay is going to have so much pre-snap and pre-motion to get these guys to move around. And if Aiden Hutchinson does not get after the quarterback, I can see this game getting out of hand very, very quickly.
Donald versus the Lions offensive line, because I do believe the Lions offensive line is their strength.
Yes, it is.
Is going to be quite a battle. I can't remember.
It's going to be a great battle.
I can't remember who the Rams drafted to play next to him this year, but
he's been playing well too. I don't know.
I can't remember. He was like third or fourth round pick.
They say he's up for a defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year right now.
Yeah, what I was going to say is someone.
Think of his name right now.
I saw a Rams fan, and I'll pull it up in a second, but I saw a Rams fan put his stats next to Jalen Carter's stats, and he's been better than Jalen Carter this year. And Jalen Carter's been good. This isn't even a knock Jalen Carter. It's to say this unnamed person on the Rams has been just as good, if not better. And that's also receiving double teams. And because when you're an offensive line going up against the Rams, you have to put 3 people on Aaron Donald and now 2 on this guy. It's a problem. And Aaron Donald's still winning a lot of these triple teams. That's the battle I'm looking forward to.
I'm just looking forward to seeing if this secondary can step up, because that's the issue with the Detroit Lions, right? If they can't generate a pass rush, they get in trouble a little bit. And they have lulls of quarters where the defense can't get off the field. Laporta going down really hurts them.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So that means Reynolds is going to have a bigger production. They have Raymond. He's been playing really good. And then obviously, St. Brown, he's balling. But Dave Montgomery, I think he had a career high, 50, I think it was 15 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Ben Johnson, he's in his lab. But let's be honest, this is not the game that you start risking it and start putting yourself in positions that would benefit the Rams. Because if you give the Rams an opportunity to be on the 20 or the 30-yard line in the red zone or fringe, and you got 4 straight plays or 8 possible plays with the ability to get a first down, Sean McVay is going to have some stuff for you that you just ain't ready for. You just ain't ready for it. The only way that Jared Goff can really do well, he needs to find Kendrick. Wherever Kendrick, number 1, for the Los Angeles Rams, wherever he's lined up, seek him out. That's where you need to attack him, because everything else, man, you got to find the weakest link for the Lions, because I'm telling you, Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are going to go to town, bro.
So the rookie D tackle's name is Kobe Turner. This was as of January 2nd, so I know they played again. I don't know what he did in that game. January 2nd, he had 9 sacks, 45 pressures, 12.9% win rate, 5 QB hits, and he's been double teamed 71% of the time.
That says something.
So yeah, the trenches will, to me, dictate this game, because you talk about quarterbacks don't love playing under pressure. Goff more so than anyone. If he's clean, he can take his time and he will find someone open. If he's under pressure,
sometimes.
Sure. But when he's under pressure specifically, that's when the house of cards falls apart pretty quick.
The last game, the Eagles. Are the Eagles in trouble? A little bit. Here's why. A.J. Brown, knee. They got a guard. Eye injury. Okay? Kind of need those when you're looking to see. Blankenship, he has a growing. And the reason I'm bringing this up, he went out in the third quarter. So that means he had a full quarter now. He has all the way till Monday. Hopefully he can get there. Their secondary is really struggling. Sidney Brown, knee injury. He did not return. There's just a lot of things going on with the Philadelphia Eagles that I want to bring to your attention. The same issue that Frank Wright had when all of his assistants left Indy is what I believe Nick Sirianni is having right now. I think it's Sean Desai. He was the defensive coordinator, and he was doing such a great job, and they have full confidence that he is not doing anything wrong. They allowed Matt Patricia, the consultant, at one point, and then a coach, to now start calling the plays, right? And then Brian Johnson, quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator, he now is figuring things out. But who are the coordinators there? The coordinators, Shane Steichen, he used to be there. He's gone. And what's the coach from Arizona?
Yeah.
He's there. He's gone. You're starting to see that Nick Sirianni, and I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I think he's a great coach. I think he picked the wrong coordinators to run this offense and defense, and they've taken a step back. And it is becoming apparent that they've taken a step back because it is not looking pretty, bro.
No, it's not. Matt Patricia is no savior. I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa wins this game. Wouldn't be shocked in the slightest.
I would be extremely shocked if Tampa won this game because I just watched them here in Carolina. They offensively, it is all about if they can win up front. And I'm not sure the Philadelphia Eagles don't get right with their defense and defensive pressure because I just saw a Carolina Panthers team really nullify. And I saw J.C. Horn put the strap down on Mike Evans a little bit, bro. I'm impressed. And I see why the Carolina Panthers are holding on and holding hope with J.C. because they're a different team. But that quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers does not do well under pressure.
No.
Just doesn't.
No. But does anyone...
And most quarterbacks don't.
Sure.
Most quarterbacks don't do well under pressure, so I'm not picking on anyone. But it is very apparent when he's under pressure, his decision-making is hold the football.
Yeah.
He holds the football.
Is anyone on the Eagles secondary playing as well as J.C. Horn right now?
Well, one guy is, but he's hurt, and he went down. That's Big Play Slay. Big Play Slay was before he got hurt.
Yeah, but he's hurt. Yeah. So that's where it's
I know.
Like I could see Mike Evans having himself quite a day.
Yeah. But if that pressure gets to him, I don't think he can have a day because I just don't think that quarterback is going to sit patiently in the pocket and deliver the football. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to try to run around and has no juice to run around.
Yeah, listen, Baker Mayfield losing a game to the Eagles would surprise me zero. I also wouldn't be surprised if there's something wrong in Philly. Like A.J. Brown was sitting there in front of reporters going into this last game talking about how he loves Sirianni and Sirianni took a bullet for them when they ad-libbed on a play and everyone's all in on Sirianni. Like you just said, it's not all on Sirianni. The coordinators have not adjusted to this season at all. There's weird vibes going on. And that Sidney Brown injury, he got carted off. Like that's not a small injury.
Correct. Yeah, I don't see them losing. I just don't see them going very far because of the way they're playing.
Sure.
It's just they are officially inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you don't want to be in the playoffs is inconsistent because all your inconsistencies, the team you're playing, their whole strategy, their whole playbook will be on every single play you screwed up in a regular season. We're running those plays. Oh, y'all don't communicate when you switch release? Man, it's going to be a switch. It's going to be a switch release party.
Could a win here be the thing that gets them back on track?
It could be. Gets them back on track, but they still have to play, I think, more physical teams.
Oh, definitely more physical teams. Yeah, for sure. But it's one of those things.
I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't see them being a physical team in the secondary.
Right. Yeah, they kind of had the reverse of the Bills season. They started off 10-1 and then started fumbling, as opposed to the Bills, who were wildly inconsistent, fired their coordinator, and then got on a different track.
And I just don't think they can switch offensively like what the Buffalo Bills have done.
Yeah.
They aren't built that way. Right? The Buffalo Bills have done that because to kind of rein in Josh Allen. You don't need to rein in Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not out there trying to, he's not trying to, go out there and
throw a crossbody 40 yards down the field. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not him, man.
Right.
That's just not him. He's so calm and collected. He's so positive. And I'm just not sure that the Philadelphia Eagles can change. I don't think it's in them offensively.
No, I don't even know if it's something as technical that needs to change as much as like a big win could just swing the vibes. Because right now it just seems like they're going into games thinking, how are we going to lose? As opposed to the first 11 weeks and all of last season being like, oh, we're just going to impose our will on whoever's across from us. I think that 49ers loss has been sitting with them, honestly.
It has been. And everything else has been sitting with the rest of them, too. And their opponents are utilizing, again, the opponents are utilizing everything they need. Bro, it is no way. Yes, some of your starters were rested. Some of them were started. But it is no way that the New York Giants should have played you as well as they played you.
Oh, they smacked them.
Oh.
And that was for, the 2 seed? They went from 2 to 5?
Yeah, they did.
You know what I mean? They were trying in that first half. They waved the white flag.
Oh, yes. That's the thing. Like you can. Oh yeah, we were good. No, they were really, really. And if AJ can't play, are they going to feature Devontae Smith, or are they going to say, our plans aren't going to change? Well, your plans do need to change, and those need to change into integrating Devontae Smith right now in this playoff game as a number 1 wide receiver. And if AJ can come back or play the next week and he's close to 100%, then now you put the pressure on the defense to where now they have to cover both. Because there are times, some game plans, we aren't going to really put too much attention to Goddard and Devontae Smith because guess what? They're not calling their number anyway.
Right.
So I don't see the Bucks winning. I just want to see how do the Philadelphia Eagles actually play the Bucks? Like how is it just an outright butt kicking, or is it, what I say, are they just playing this hang around football?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they need to win in decisive fashion if they're going to keep winning after that. And I don't know.
Right, so
the more I think about that 49ers loss, like they spent the whole offseason laughing at Debo, being like, oh, you think the quarterback was the difference maker. And then the quarterback comes back and they just throttled them. It's one of those things where it's like they feel like they're having an identity crisis. Like, yeah, we had these beliefs. Those have been shattered. It's so late in the season, we don't have time to rebuild it. I'm going to take Tampa.
Wow. I'm taking Tampa. Okay. Well, we'll see then. Oh, yeah, I didn't ask you. Who you got, the Lions or the Rams?
Everything tells me the Rams are going to win this game.
Really?
Everything.
Can I pick both? Does that work?
Tie?
I for Brian and the Lions, I kind of want to win, but I'm not sure they will. But then I also I don't know if the Rams, because the Rams will do some stuff too defensively that get their secondary gets them in trouble.
Sure. Yeah, the Rams aren't perfect by any stretch. If Detroit were playing pretty much any other team here, I'd be picking Detroit. That Stafford going back to Detroit, like I can just see how crushing that is. And I want to say something to a lot of fans out there right now. I've seen a lot of people who's either their team didn't get to the playoffs or they don't think they have a chance. They're like, man, I would just love to see a Browns-Lions Super Bowl. There's nothing worse, and I'm speaking on behalf of Browns and Lions fans, than having them both in there. There's a bond between Browns and Lions fans because of how bad they've both been the past forever. That if to put them both in the Super Bowl against each other, where one will win over the other, is so unfathomably cruel. You cannot do that. You want to see one in the Super Bowl, then you want to see the other there next year. Putting them head to head, they don't deserve that. These people don't deserve that.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, it's like giving a crackhead $1,000 right in front of the dope house.
It's
too easy, dog. Too easy.
It's not fair to one of those fan bases to know their brother in misery will win, and then they get even more miserable. It's not a fair thing to set one of them up for.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna stop because I was about to go into a whole.
Time's up. They're like it's two prostitutes, one John.
Oh, whoa! Well, that is another edition of ET. Oh no! Oh, hey, this is Cut to It, man. I'm Steve Smith Sr.
Playoff time, Coley Mick.
Hey, we see y'all next week.